Hello, my name is Amy and welcome to your beginner level yoga class. Welcome to the mat. I'm glad you made it today. I'm going to start the class today with a quote that I think is really appropriate for this class. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few. So let that sink in throughout your class today. Just think about that. And in addition, I also want to point out two things. One, there should not be any pain in any of the poses that we do today. So if you have any pain, back off, come out of the pose, don't continue on. You'll feel sensation from the stretch, but never pain. And second, just have fun with your class. Enjoy. Don't take it too seriously. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. So we're going to start on a comfortable seated position. And I'm sitting up on a pillow. You can sit up on a blanket, whatever's most comfortable for you. And we're just going to start out in a nice seated position here. And I'm going to start out with my right in front of my left. And we're just going to start out with a couple of stretches to the side. We're going to do some side stretches just to open up our side body. So we're going to take our right hand out to the right. And you can come down as far as you want or stay upright more. That's either one is fine. And then just take your left arm up overhead, over your head, and bend over to the side. You should feel a very nice stretch all along your right hand side of your body. Take a couple breaths in and out there through your nose. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. And let's return back up to upright and let's go to the other side. So left arm out to the side, right arm up and overhead. Stretch over to your left. 3 nice deep breaths in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, let's return back up to center upright. And now we're going to do a shoulder opener. So we're going to do a pretty simple one to start with. I'm going to take your right arm across your body. And then just take your left and pull that one in. You'll feel the stretch right through here. Pull to the degree that you feel the stretch, but don't overdo it. And again, we're going to do 2 deep breaths here. In, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale. Release that, and we'll do the other side. Left arm across your body. And I have a microphone, so I hope that's not going to mess up the sound here. I may do it less just to help with the microphone here. And then pull it in with your other arm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release that. Ah, feels good. All right. Now I'm going to take the pillow out from underneath my seat, but you can keep it there if that's more comfortable for you. And from here, we're just going to do some kind of rolls. We're going to open up the spine. And this can be kind of free flow if you want it to also. But what we're going to do is we're going to start going over to the right, come forward. And as you come forward, you're going to arch. You're going to lift your chest and arch your back a bit. And I'll turn to the side so you can see that. So you go to the right, and then you're going to come forward, and your back will be arched, chin and chest lifted. We're going to come over to our left, excuse me. And then as we come back, we're going to round the back, round the spine, scoop the belly in, and back over to the right. And we're just going to keep doing this in a nice, slow, round motion, circular motions. So I'm going to come to the front so you can see that. We'll do that 3 times each side. All right, so let's go to the right. Inhaling, breathing normally here. Arching your back as you come forward. Go over to your left. Round as you go toward the back and come around to the right. And you can go nice and slow here. Have your hands on your knees for nice support. Over to the left, to the back, round, to the right, this last one in this direction, to the front, arch the back, to the left, round in the back, and let's come back upright. And now we're going to go the other direction. This is a nice spine opener. So we're going to go to the left, come forward, arch the back, over to your right, round to the back, to the left, to the front, arch the spine, to the right, to the back, rounded one more time in this direction, to the left, front, arch the back, open the chest, to the right, and rounded to the back. And now let's sit up right. All right, great. We're a little bit warmed up there. Let's warm up some more. So we're going to stand up on our mats. And we're going to start out in mountain pose. And mountain pose is simply what I'm doing right now. So I have all four corners of my feet. All four corners of your feet, both feet, are grounded into the mat. Really feel the earth beneath you. And my legs are about hip distance apart, arms out to the side. Don't lock your knees. You just have a really soft micro bend in your knees. And like a mountain, you're standing tall, stable. Really lift up through the crown of your head. Feel your spine nice and tall. Turn to the side so you can see that. Just like a majestic mountain. Always remember that. This is a great pose to come back to. It's a nice centering pose. And from here, we're now going to go into some arm raises. So my cat's coming up the tree, so ignore him. That's one of two cats that you'll probably see in my videos. Yoga with pets. Right, Nuggie? This is Nugget. All right, now she got to go on. All right, so what we're going to do is stand in mountain pose, and we're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, and lower them. Nice deep breath in. Inhale. Raise your arms way up to the sky. Really stretch all through your spine. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale. Arms up to the sky. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, lower your arms. And once more, inhale, and this is really good. A nice reach, like you're reaching for the sky. And exhale, release that. All right. Now grab your blocks. Most of you are probably going to need these, or a chair if you need to bring the floor up even higher. Whatever you need. I'm going to show you today with the blocks on the tallest level. In my prop video, I showed you the different levels. There is the low level, medium, and high. So depending on how far the floor needs to come up to you, pick your height. You may not know that right away. So bring these to the top of your mat. And then we're going to stand back from our blocks in mountain pose. And from here, we're going to reach our arms up, just like we did. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward, hinging at our hips, trying to maintain as flat a back as possible as we come in. And a bend in your knees will help keep that flat back. So come down and have your hands fall on the blocks. And from here, we're going to fold all the way forward. So a nice bend in your knees will help, especially if it's early in the morning, or even maybe it's later in the night. If you have tight hamstrings, this will help. And let's just take a couple of deep breaths here. In and out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And from here now, we're going to inhale and come to a halfway lift. So here's where your legs will maybe straighten out. If not, you can still keep the bend. But you're going more for a flat back, or as flat back as possible. So you're looking forward and ahead, really stretching those hamstrings, letting your thighs spiral out, back and apart. So you're really opening up there. Let's take a couple deep breaths here. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now, we're just going to flow between those two poses for a minute. So we're going to, on the exhale, we're going to fold forward, bending the knees if needed. Inhale, rise up, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, look forward. Exhale, fold in. One more. Inhale, flat back, look forward. And then we're going to exhale and let that all go. And of course, you don't have to use the blocks. If you find that you're able to do it this way, you can. Or if that was not high enough, you can use a chair to bring it up. whatever's going to work best for you. But remember, the bend in the knees also really helps. So from here, we're now going to come into tabletop. And tabletop is just knees underneath of your hips, wrist underneath of your shoulders. And from here, I would suggest having your hands kind of turn them out a little bit like this. So this, your index finger is actually parallel to the edge of your mat. And you might want to have a little wide stance here. So maybe wider than shoulder width apart. And from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So make sure all of your palms are flat into the ground and you've got all this entire part of your hand is in contact with the floor. You don't want your hands coming up like this. That's going to put some pressure on your wrist. So make sure all of this is in contact. All right, so from here, we're just going to slowly tuck our back toes, lift the knees up and the hips up, keep a bend in the knees, and press back into downward facing dog. And this looks like an inverted V, so an upside down V. And I like to pedal my legs out here to really get a nice stretch. Really helps to open everything up. And we also call this walking your dog. And if you have a dog at home, they're probably not going to consider this walking the dog, but you're walking the dog right now. So take the dog for a walk for a minute and get those really bend one knee and straighten the other, bend the other knee and straighten the other leg. And really just kind of cycle between that. And then, if you're able, choose straight legs. If not, keep them bent and keep them as bent as you need to, because you're looking for more of this straighter back as possible. And that will come with time. And now from here, we're going to drop the knees. I'm going to adjust my stance a little bit because now we're going to come into a modified plank. So from here, you're just going to shift your hips forward. And you're in this nice little straight line with your body from head to feet. And if you are able, you can bring your knees up. If full plank is in your practice, is where you're at right now. If not, let's go with our knees down. I'm going to practice my knees down today and try to draw your belly in. And then we're going to slowly lower down, keeping the elbows into the side. You don't want them splaying out. You want them to come into the side. So we're going to slowly lower down to the mat. Untuck the back toes. And exhale out. And from here, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. And if you've ever seen the Sphinx, a picture, or been to Egypt and seen the actual Sphinx, this resembles that. So you're going to have your elbow underneath of your shoulders and arms out straight in front of you. And this is a really nice, lift your chest up. You'll feel the back opening up. And you're welcome to stay here. Or, alternatively, we're going to do a low cobra. Bring your forehead to the ground. Hands are about to your chest level on either side. And then just lift up your chest and your head, keeping your elbows drawn in, your shoulder blades on your back. And exhale back down. We'll do one more of those, or you can stay in Sphinx. Inhale. Lift up off the floor, and your chest forward, shoulder blades on the back, and exhale back down. Nice, nicely done. All right, we're going to come up to all fours. And from here, we're going to go back into child's pose. And I will show you from the side here really quick. Child's pose can either be with your knees together, for slightly apart, or if you prefer, a nice wide-legged child's pose, which I do like. That's what I prefer. And then your big toes will be touching in the back. So bring your big toes to touch and pick your variation, either wide-legged, wherever you want to be. And from here, we're just going to stretch forward. Now, for some of you, your heels are not going to come, your butt is not going to come down to your heels. And you can use a block or a pillow. And since my cat's on the pillow, I'm not going to mess with him. So I'm going to show you with a block, but a pillow would also work, or a blanket. You can set that underneath your seat to help elevate your hips. And you may not come all the way down. You might be here, and that's perfectly fine. This is a nice stretch too. So just bring your head forward. Alternatively, you could use another block for your head. So you could have a block here and here. We're just going to stay in that pose for a couple minutes, couple of breaths. Just breathing in and out. Really feel the calming of this pose. Okay, so you could be here, Maybe you're not. Let's take a couple deep breaths in there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. From here, we're going to come up. All right, and we're going to do one more down dog before we do our next set of poses. So, I'm going to come forward into tabletop. And you know the drill now. So, arms about a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Hands into the mat. Tuck the back toes. Lift your knees. Lift your hips up toward the sky. And come into a nice down dog. And you should feel a bit more open in this one, but if you still need to, pedal your legs out a little bit or keep your knees bent. Really feel the stretch through your arms. Push the floor away with your arms. Feel it. Open up your shoulders. Have your shoulders on your back. Couple deep breaths here and in and out. At your own pace. Hips are up, lifted up toward the sky. Heels do not need to be touching the floor. Mine still don't after several years of practice. All right, and from here, we're just going to simply walk forward on our mat. And you might want your blocks again. Now we may be a little bit more open. I'm going to try them on a lower setting. So from here, we're going to inhale and halfway lift. We've been here before. A little bit. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Once more. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift, look forward. And exhale, fold in. And from here, we're going to inhale our arms all the way up, come to stand back up, reach up, touch the sky. Exhale, your arms down to your sides, back into mountain pose. All right, I'm going to move these blocks out of the way. And now we're going to do Warrior One. So Warrior One, we're going to start with our right leg back. So keep your left foot forward and take your right leg back and at an angle, about a 45-degree angle. And your hips, your legs will be about hip distance apart. You're going to square your hips to the front of your room or to the front of your mat. And I'll show it another way just so you can see what this looks like. This leg is back. They're not in line with each other. This is not Warrior One, and you wouldn't have a good stable balance or stable base. So you want about hip distance apart, but you want to be facing the front of the room, the front of your mat. So let's go back in that pose. And from here, and if you feel wobbly, widen that stance out. So you find what works in your body. This is going to look different to everybody, so go with what works best for you. Then we're going to inhale our arms up. There's my other cat. This is her purrs a lot. Inhale your arms up. Really reach up. Feel all that energy coming up from your hips all the way up to your arms. Then we're going to exhale, and when we exhale, lower the arms and straighten the front knee, the left knee. Inhale, we're going to do that a few more rounds. Inhale, arms up, straighten your front knee, left knee. Exhale, lower your arms, straighten your left knee. Inhale, arms up, rebend the front knee. Exhale, straighten your front knee and bring your legs down. Your legs straight, excuse me. Once more, arms up, rebend your leg. Arms up, exhale, arms down, straight leg. Very nice. Step forward into mountain pose again. Take a moment, just let the one side equal out. Let's take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. All right, let's do the other side. We want balance. So keep your right foot forward, and now your left leg is going to go back. And your foot is going to be turned out about a 45-degree angle. Again, widen your stance if you feel wobbly. That will help your base. That will give you a much more solid, stable base. And from here, square the hips. You want your hips facing front of your mat. We're going to do that same thing with the arms. So arms Inhale overhead. And the other thing I did not mention on the first side, but I should mention here, your knee should never track over your ankle. So if you find yourself doing this, then you need to open up that stance a bit more. So keep it like this. You want it more knee over the ankle. All right, we're going to inhale, our arms up. And on the exhale, lower the arms, straighten the front leg. Inhale, arms up, front leg bent. Exhale, arms down, front leg straight. 2 more. Inhale up, rebend your leg. Exhale, arms down, straight leg. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. All right. Come back up to mountain pose. Step forward. And let's take a couple of centering breaths here. Are you ready? A couple of inhales at your own pace. You close your eyes if you feel steady. Just notice how your body is feeling so far. One more. Now, we're going to go into a balance pose. So before you panic, don't worry, we have lots of modifications for this. If you're near a wall or you have a chair, you can use a chair or anything that you have to hang on to. I've got a window wall here, so I'm going to use that as an example. And we're going to come into tree pose. Much like a tree, you'll see as we go along with this one. All right, so we're going to start with, and again, hand can be on a wall if you want to throughout all of this. We're going to start with, take your right leg, turn it out, and then take your heel to your lower shin. You can stay here. This is still a balance pose. You can also use the wall if you still feel unstable. If you feel stable and you want to continue on, you can bring the foot up to mid shin. And if you feel steady and you want to continue on, skip the knee. You never want to put your foot on your knee because we don't want that. Bring it all the way up to your thigh. And this is tree pose. And to help with your balance, focus on a point in front of you. You can bring your hands into prayer position if you'd like. You can put them on your side. Again, you could hold for steadiness. But find a point ahead of you to stare at, for your gaze. And if you feel steady, bring your arms up. And if you don't, leave them like whoopsie, there we go. And if you fall, just get back into it. So we're going to take a couple deep breaths here on your own pace. Find your gaze. Feel your steadiness. Got a plane going over right about now. Just keep breathing, keep gazing. And make sure that you can hear me after that plane went over. All right. And if you've fallen out, come back into it. It's all right. And now, release your right leg. Shake your legs out a little bit. It's a good pose. It's a great balancing pose. It's good for not only your balance, but it also can help to balance you. So if you're having one of those days. All right, next we're going to go into the left side. So I'm going to try not to do it through the wall this time, although I'm a little unsteady myself, so we'll see what happens. All right. And we have a mosquito. This is what happens when you record outside. All kinds of things. All right, we're going to take our left leg, turn it out. Bring the heel. We're going to start here. This is where you are. This is a great place to be. You are still learning and you're still balancing because you'll see that you still wobble a bit. So that's perfectly a great place to be. If you feel steady, come on up to your mid shin. And if you feel even more steady and you're ready to continue on, come all the way up to your thigh. Again, not your knee. Bring your hands into prayer if you like. You could bring them out to the sides to kind of help with your balance. Here or up. And just breathe in and out at your own rhythm, at your own pace. And think of this as a tree. What a tree does in the wind. It's very stable and strong, and yet it sways in the wind. So you're going to sway, and that's okay. If you fall, you fall. It's all okay. It's fine. Just get back into the pose. But it really helps to find a gaze, a point ahead of you. If you've got a wall in front of you or something you can look at, a tree. I'm going to try that right now, and that really helps steady my gaze. I'm able to really, really focus. A couple more deep breaths here. If you've fallen out, I'm giving you guys time to get back into it. Find your nice balance. And again, use the wall. That's what it's there for. Use it. Use a chair. No shame in that. All right. Let's release that left leg. Shake that all out. That should feel great. All right. That was awesome. Now we're going to do a little bit of a cool down, and then we're almost done with this class. So we're going to sit down on our mat, and we're going to come into bound angle pose. And so I'm going to turn this way so you can see. So bound angle pose, you're going to bring the soles of your feet together, and you can have them further out in front of you or closer in, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And if you are like this with your legs up here, you can put blocks underneath of your legs to help elevate your legs or to have something to go into. But if you're up here, I want you to stay upright. So you just take your arms behind your back and try to just lengthen that spine as best you can. If your legs are further down, then you're going to hinge forward at your hips, sitting on your sitting bones, sitting up tall, and hinge forward as little or as much as you feel works for you. What you want to avoid is doing this. Then you should just stay upright. But if you're able to keep a semi-flat back, you can come forward. 2 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to come back up. And now we're going to do a seated twist. From here, right shin in front of left. Take your right hand to your knee. Your left hand to your right knee. Right hand is going to go behind you, and you're going to just simply twist to the right. Try to keep your hips square, and you're twisting from your torso, from your abdomen area. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, release it and come back to center. Switch across of your legs. Left shin in front of right. Right hand on left knee. Left hand behind you. Same thing, twist over to the left. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, return to center. All right, and from here, we're going to do, we've got about 2 minutes left of class. So I'm going to do a quick bridge with a block, but I want to give you guys at least some time for Shavasana. And we're only going to do about a minute today because I know for some people, Shavasana is an easy pose and others it's not. So we're going to start with bridge with a block, and then we're going to complete our practice. So from here, we're going to lie on our backs with your heels flat on the ground. You're going to take the block, and I would suggest either the lowest setting or the medium setting, and you're going to lift your hips up and place that block right around your sacrum area. That's the very low part of your back, right before your buttocks curve out. And from here, your chest is open to the sky, and just take a couple of easy, deep breaths in and out at your own pace, and just feel this nice opening. Now, if you would like, you can remove the block and then be here. And this is obviously a little bit more challenging because you have to hold yourself up. The important thing is here to not let your knees splay out. You want your knees to stay in, and your legs are about hip distance apart. One more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Exhale. And lower everything back down. And then you're going to stay right where you're at because now we're ready for Shavasana. And according to my timer, we've got just under a minute, so this might run over by a minute or so. So stretch your arms or your legs all the way out in front on your mat. You're just going to, and your arms are going to come flat out on the mat onto your sides. And you're just going to, if you have an eye covering, this is where I suggest, or eye covering of any sort, cover your eyes, because this is the final relaxation pose of any yoga class. And it's, I think, one of the most important. So just go ahead and get comfortable here, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit. Just let everything drop into the mat and just feel your practice integrate itself into your body, into this pose. For some people, they love this pose. They can't wait for this one. And others, they find it's uncomfortable. They're not used to just laying for a few minutes. We're doing a short one today. If this is uncomfortable on your back, you can always bend your knees, take them wide as your mat, and let your heels as wide as your mat, and then let your knees drop in. That's an option. You want to be comfortable and just really just relax and let go. And just feel the effects of your practice. And this one, you're just going to breathe in and out normally and naturally. Just feel everything kind of slowing down and calming. I'll give you just a few seconds here of quiet. All right, for time's sake, you're welcome to stay here longer if you'd like. But for a lot of us, we're on schedule, so I don't want to hold anybody up. So we're going to bring our knees, bend our knees up, bring them into your chest, kind of hug them in a little bit. Roll over to your side. Make a pillow with your arm. And then use your arms to press yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to come back to where we started. Congratulations. You just did maybe for some of your very first yoga class. I really hope that this has a positive effect on the rest of your day and for those around you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste.